What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the very first episode of the Nerd Lantern Core. Today, we're going to be talking about Superman, as I said in the last video. So, I did say that I was going to be posting one later today, but then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back, watch the movie, take down some notes I have right here on my phone, and just to make sure I'm not still riding on a high, that I'm pretty sure consistent. And my notes are actually pretty consistent. There was a lot of stuff that I did love about it. There was some stuff I was iffy, and there was some stuff I just straight up didn't like. So I like to start off with the negatives and then on the positives. Because I usually, when it comes to movies that I like, I usually have more positives than negatives. So I'm gonna just get the negatives out of the way, and then we can talk more about the positives. So first thing I have here is the trailer. I did not like the trailer. Well, at first I did, but looking back at it after watching the movie, the trailer was honestly poorly edited, and yeah, it was just what's the word I can say. I thought it was gonna when I watched the movie, I thought it was just gonna be something different because the trailer told an entirely different story of what I thought it was gonna be. Because and I may be the only one, but from what I saw, the trailer said like, okay, I thought it was gonna be like the typical coming of age story of Superman, but we get like him trying to actively be Superman for the very first time, and he screws up, and that's why people don't like him. He causes a mess, but eventually he fixes it. Um, in the end, obviously. I thought it was just going to be like that, but no, that was completely it. Superman was already established in the movie. People all around the world knows who he is because he's been helping all around the world. So everyone knows who he is. He already has this little beef going on with Lex Luthor, and is apparently this big news of his parents, what he they are really sent him down here for. So I was like, yeah, just thinking back at it, I'm like, yeah, that trailer definitely misled me. Or maybe I just misread it. But second thing is Mom and Papa Kent. I had nothing wrong with the actors, nothing wrong with them. They were very nice, funny, and wholesome. I just wish there was a little bit more of them. That's my only thing. That's my only thing about it. I just wish there was a little bit more. Nick Holt as Lex Luthor. Now, when I picture Lex Luthor, I don't see Nicholas Holt. I just don't. It's Don't get me wrong, he did the best he could. Whatever everything that he was given, he performed it, and I give him props for doing everything that he could in his absolute best. But I personally wish that it was probably somebody else because I don't see Nicholas Hoult being Lex Luthor. Maybe even as a younger looking Lex Luthor, I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know. I just got to see more. It might be one of those things where I just got to see more of him. I love Nicholas Hoult. I actually do. I love his movies. I love him as Beast, but for I don't this Lex Luthor though. It just needs to come with a little bit more. Isabella Merced as Hot Girl. When I think of Hot Girl, I don't think of Isabella Merced. Plain and clear. Uh, I don't think it's well. The first thing that I think of when a super, I don't think of Hot Girl in a Superman movie. Not even as a side character. I don't. This isn't my movie. This is James Gunn's doing, but I don't know. And plus, even if Hot Girl made an appearance, I don't understand Isabella Merced. Isabella Merced doesn't give. When I see Isabella Merced, I think of probably Jessica Cruz to be another Green Lantern, maybe, but not Hot Girl. I don't know. This just is kind of a weird casting choice again for me. Uh, I I personally did not enjoy Hot Girl in the movie. I know a lot of people did. I know a lot of my opinions are going to be in the minority. I I did not like the shrieks. I did not like the Shrieks at all. And Hot Girl, she just gave me. She didn't give me like warrior, like she's like she can scrap fighter type vibe. She gave me this stereotypical teenage girl type like whatever Valley Girl type BS. It's I, it just didn't. Isabella Merced doesn't speak Hot Girl to me. Guy Gardner being the first Green Lantern to appear. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Nathan Fillion and I love Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. Let's not get that twisted. But Green Lantern, but Guy Gardner to be the first Green Lantern to appear, that's kind of a weird choice for me. Um, again, I have no problem with everything else. It's just with Guy Gardner being the first Green Lantern to appear, I don't know. I think he should have either been John Stewart or Hal Jordan, in my honest opinion. Either one of those two. But that's all pretty much it. Peacemaker. Peacemaker, that's the best way I can word this. It makes no sense for me. It makes no sense to me that you retcon the entire DCEU and there's this show that references the DCEU, but you decide to keep that show though. Don't get me wrong, the show's good, and I think the camera cut out a little bit, but what if just in case, the show is good, and I love John Cena, good actor, but it doesn't make sense for me to how you keeping a show that that was affiliated with this franchise, and you completely retcon the franchise, but you're keeping the show, and you're continuing on with that show because if you haven't seen Peacemaker, there's a scene in the last episode where they stop this alien invasion. And spoiler alert, but I mean it's your fault if you haven't seen it by now. But there's a in the last episode they stop the alien invasion, and then the Justice League finally comes to help, and this is the DCEU Justice League. They completely retcon that entire thing and just replaced them with the new Justice Gang. And I'm like, why would you do that? If you're rebranding the Justice League and you're using new people, why would you keep Peacemaker? That part just doesn't make any sense to me because season two came out. Well, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Peacemaker season two aired 2 months after, like maybe like a couple months after Superman premiered. Why would you keep Peacemaker again? Nothing against John Cena, but that just part just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. Uh, what else? Crypto. Yep. I am sorry. I know I'm definitely in the minority when I say this. I did not enjoy crypto. I did not enjoy crypto. Uh, and the fact that they made him Supergirl's dog. Why would you? Why? I mean, Crypto's always been Superman's dog, always. But yeah, the fact that they Crypto is literally just an ordinary dog, but with he acts like Crypto acts like an ordinary dog, just with Superman's powers, and I did not like that at all. Crypto is way more Crypto. For those of you that don't know, Crypto isn't just this dog that has Superman's powers. He's an intelligent dog, not like Cosmo's level, like Cosmo the cosmonaut from Guardians of the Galaxy, that dog that walks around in the astronauts all the time. He's not that level of intelligent, but he's definitely above like an average intelligence of a dog. Okay, he's not disobedient. He's actually really well behaved, and he's Superman's best buddy. It's crazy, and don't get and if you wanted to incorporate obviously any aspects of a dog to Crypto, that would have been fine. But to make it just a dog with Superman's powers is a little disrespectful to the character, in my honest opinion. And I was like, the entire time I was watching the movie, I'm like, why is Crypto behaving this way? Why is Crypto behaving this way? That's Superman's dog. It should know that Superman is in pain. Why is he pounding on him? Why is Crypto having such a hard time obeying commands? And I'm like, and then we get to the end of the movie, and we're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's ridiculous. I hope he gets trained sometime soon. But I will say, James Gunn, you're lucky I'm a dog person because that little scene that you did with Superman and Crypto in the end when they're like sitting on the moon or whatever, just looking out in the vast space, and Crypto's just like cuddling up on him. You lucky I'm a dog person, and I thought that was very sweet. And I said, "Ooh, that hit me here because it reminded me of my dog. You're lucky. That honestly saved you, but it's still a negative." Um, Last but not least, Ultraman and Engineer. I immediately noticed the U that's on Ultraman's suit, and I was like, "Yo, please tell me that is not Ultraman. That's not Ultraman." And sadly, it was. I actually never heard of Engineer. I thought that was going to be Mercy Graves. I thought that was just going to be like a more tech out Mercy Graves because she's not super, she's Lex Luthor's like right hand lady, like personal what's she? Can't remember if she was a robot or a cyborg. I think she's a cyborg. But yeah, like wherever Lex Luthor goes, Mercy follows. I thought that's what that was supposed to be. I did not know that was actually supposed to be Engineer. And I had to look it up just to make sure that it was an actual character. She is an actual character. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I find out that Engineer is actually a hero. And and I'm like, well, why is she a villain? And apparently Engineer, I'm gonna have to do some more research, but what I found out was apparently Engineer never had any affiliation with Lex Luthor whatsoever. Whatsoever. And she's like this girl boss team leader. She's like led like all these different teams of heroes. And I'm like, why is she a villain? It just confused me. So I'm gonna have to do some more research on that. But back to Ultraman though, I did not like Ultraman. I did not like what they did with Ultraman, but I think I have an idea of where they're going with Ultraman. For those of you that remember that, Superman basically sent him into that black hole. I'm pretty sure that black hole that black hole is gonna lead Ultraman into a different universe, and then they're gonna go through the whole trope of him finding his way and coming back, and not coming back, but finding his way and just like end up taking over the world, forming the crime syndicate, and eventually uh coming crossing paths with the Justice League whenever James Gunn gets forms up the Justice League. And everybody's gonna have their counterparts. Whenever we get our Batman, whenever we get our Wonder Woman, whenever we get our Green Lantern and Flash, I feel like that's what they're gonna set us up. I feel like that's what they're gonna set us up for. I'm calling it. I think that's what they're doing. Uh, but yeah, those are all my negatives. Now for the positives. Number one, the soundtrack. I loved the soundtrack. It is it's so inspiring and it's so hopeful, which is what we wanted in a Superman movie because this is the symbol of hope. This is the symbol of hope. It sounded hopeful, and I love that they incorporated some elements from Man of Steel and the Christopher Reeve movies and made something. I think they did something else. I think they incorporated something else, but obviously, you know the iconic Christopher Reeves Superman theme. but they made something so beautiful, and it was just it sounds like it's magical. Uh, David Cornsweet as Superman. David, if you ever see this, you killed it. You killed it. Don't listen to what anybody says to you about, oh, Henry Cavill's so much better. Dude, shut up. You killed it, David. You killed it. Henry Cavill himself said that he wished he could have played a more hopeful Superman. He thought it was too dark. He thought it was just it wasn't bright enough. Henry Cavill said that himself. The actor himself that a lot of y'all people be glazing over. He said himself that he wished he played a more hopeful Superman. You can look it up for yourself. Also the suit. I actually did like the suit. Well, at first I was like, hmm. But the thing is, I was actually again, my opinion is in the minority because everybody was talking about the underwear on the outside. Everybody was talking about that. Everybody. I'm like, dude, that's literally Superman's iconic style. That's literally his iconic style. But my thing was the symbol, how they use the Kingdom Come symbol. And I was like, huh, that's kind of weird. But I was like, it was growing on me. Angle, it was growing on me. And eventually, I didn't buy this shirt. My girlfriend actually bought me this shirt. But it was actually pretty interesting. And it was an interesting choice. I wonder if any future projects we might see David Cornsweet when he gets older, uh, rock the uh, rock the red and black. That actually might be pretty cool to see that. What else we got? But yeah, that whole underwear thing, like, bro, you guys are tripping. When something looks goofy, yeah, he's a superhero. It's supposed to dude, look at everybody else's uniform. Look at everybody else's. It's supposed to be goofy. You would not go out dressed like that, obviously. Uh, Positives. Nick Holt as Lex Luthor. Now I know I said he was a negative in the past, but I gotta give it, as I said before, I gotta give it to the guy. He did with what he could, and I hated him in the movie. Again, I hated the character that he played. I hated him. I did. And I would be a liar if I said I didn't. Because I wish he would have been I wish he would have been just a little more mature, a little bit. But overall, he did do his thing. And that's all we honestly can ever ask for is just people just to give it their best. And honestly, I would not mind seeing him again. So, Nicholas Holt, if you're watching this, you are a great actor. Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern, as Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. Enough said. He killed it, crushed it. Introducing Metamorpho is actually a really, really interesting path to choose. And obviously, I know James Gunn is definitely bringing more a lot of the C and D list characters out of the woodwork to give them a chance to shine. And really surprised that he brought up Metamorpho of all people starting off. I was like, okay, that's not bad. And also Mr. Terrific, giving Mr. Terrific a chance to shine, that was a great way to go. I know everybody was talking about Mr. Terrific. Everybody. A lot of people that have never heard of him, but they may have but a lot of people that have seen him from, the Justice League cartoons in some of the animated movies, they know that, Mr. Terrific is he's one of those guys. He's actually like a really, really smart person. The third smartest person in the world, actually. Um, Rachel Brosnahan is Lois Lane. She crushed it. I know it's a good Lois when my first impression is I don't like this woman. And I'm telling you guys right now, Lois Lane as a character is a solid character, but I don't think I could be friends with her in real life. And that is exactly what Rachel did. Rachel made me, well, in the beginning, she made me not like Lois. And I'm like, yep, that's Lois. That's Lois. She crushed it. Again, I'm saying all this to be positive. I'm saying all this to be positive. Okay. Jimmy Olsen, funny. Also, I'm glad that they incorporated Jimmy's his what's the word I'm looking for? His charisma that he has going with the ladies. Really glad that they incorporated that because for anybody that does not know, Jimmy actually has a pretty uh pretty decent track record when it comes to women, especially the ones with superpowers. Uh, there was not a single boring moment in the movie. I was engaged the entire time. Even when there was no action, it was still engaging. And that's all I ever really wanted in a superhero movie. Like, not a boring moment. And I'm just going to say it. When I rewatched Man of Steel, me, when I rewatched Man of Steel, again, I've seen Man of Steel several times. But the last time I watched it, I almost fell asleep. I was falling asleep probably like 5 times. My girlfriend couldn't stay awake, and I'm showing her like the DCEU movies. She's not familiar with DC as like I am and Marvel, and she was like, "Man," I was like, I had to wake her up. She had to wake me up. It was boring. It was boring. I'm, I'm, it was just it was not it. Don't get me wrong. And this is no disrespect to Cavill. I love the guy. He's a great actor, and he seems like a very decent person. This is absolutely nothing against Henry Cavill. Nothing against him. The movie was just not it. Fortress of Solitude, beautifully done, real beautiful. I like the element of it being able to rise and go back into the ground whenever he's just not there. That's pretty cool. Uh, the idea of Superman having a secret harem, it's new. The reason for his parents sending him to Krypton, or sending him to Earth, excuse me, for his parents sending him to Earth, aside from the planet being destroyed, but it was definitely a new direction because we if even if you aren't familiar with Superman, you know the story. His planet's facing ultimate destruction. Parents send them off to Earth, and now he's saving. And now he's well, his dad tells him like, I'm sending you here. You're gonna be strong. You're gonna be stronger than everybody. You're the hope to uniting people. That trope, that typical trope. The savior trope. But this one was definitely a new direction. It took me a minute to let that sink in because at first when I was watching, I'm like, what am I listening to? But after a couple days, I'm like, that was actually really refreshing because if you think about it, it actually is more believable that someone like Superman being sent from a planet to take over the world. I mean, it's basically invincible, you know, in a way. Like Superman, if he wanted to, could take over the world and have any woman he wanted. All the women could bear the children and continue the Kryptonian lineage. It was just crazy. It took a minute for that to sink in, but that's actually it's refreshing. It's a refreshing take. Positives of Supergirl. I enjoyed seeing Supergirl in the end. Uh, it. I'm kind of on the line. I'm kind of on the line on the fence about her showing up drunk and and then figuring putting two and two together. Okay, this is why Supergirl. No, this is why Crypto has these issues because she's not teaching him, and apparently when we get the new Supergirl movie, apparently we're gonna find out like why she came in drunk and all that stuff because I think this is a I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but apparently Supergirl is going through a crisis uh because she because she, unlike Clark, actually did suffer through the destruction of her. She not suffered, but she experienced the destruction of her planet because she was just a little kid when Clark was a baby. She was already a kid when Clark was a baby, so she knew of Krypton and the fact that everyone in her family, aside from her baby cousin, is gone. Everything that she knew was just gone. So that would make sense if she's just spending all of her time partying and getting drunk and abusing drugs and all that stuff. That would make sense. So hopefully the Supergirl movie does shed some light on that. I said that Superman versus the Raptors. That will be my favorite scene of the entire movie till the day I die. It was so fantastically done. Only thing I wish is that you would just give a few more seconds for Superman to Aura Farm. At least that's what the people are. That's what they're calling it now. Just a few more seconds for Superman to Aura Farm because that was awesome. And a lot of people are oh, I'm gonna factor in another thing too. Actually humanizing Superman. Man, a lot of people forget that Superman was literally raised by farmers of all people. He was raised by actual humans. Actual humans. That's what makes him human. Everybody wants to see Superman go berserk. Everybody wants to see Superman just break all this stuff, wreak havoc, all this destruction, like that, like what happened in Man of Steel. Y'all need to understand that Superman is more than just a powerhouse. He was raised by farmers. He is Clark Kent before he is ever Superman. You gotta realize that, man. Don't get me wrong. There are times that I want to see Superman let loose just a little bit. And there are times where Superman has let loose just a little bit, even a lot. But this is just the beginning. You guys can't get upset just because you see Superman taking all these punches. Have you not watched any of the animated series involving Superman? He takes a lot of punches, a lot of them. He takes a lot of punches because he holds back. Good God, I'm really so sick and tired of people thinking that humanizing Superman is a bad thing. He's human. He's more human than all of us, honestly. You guys get this confused. Superman is not a god. He's not a god. He's literally a human with godlike powers. He's human with he's a man. He just has godlike powers. He's a humble. He's a man. He's a humble man with godlike powers. It's that simple, honestly. Y'all fail to realize, or even some of y'all even neglect the fact that to what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all neglect the fact that he was raised by farmers. He was raised by humble people. He was taught to be a good person. It's crazy. Humanizing Superman is the best thing that they could have done. Best thing that they could have done because it made the movie more lighthearted and more hopeful. And it made that scene with Superman versus the Raptors even more epic. Do I wish there was a little bit more time where he was just kicking all the Raptors' asses? Absolutely. But that scene right, that whole scene, it was. I wish he would have used his freeze breath on a couple of them, but it was still fantastic nonetheless. And that will always be my favorite scene. Yeah, but that's it. That is that's my take on the Superman movie. Personally, I give it a 7 out of 10. Still, when I first watched it, I talked to my buddies about it. I told them like it's a 7 out of 10, and again, I was just being generous because I was riding off of a high. The high is gone now, and I can honestly say that I genuinely give the Superman movie a decent 7 out of 10. It's good. It is good. Is it the is it the best Superman movie? No, at least not in my opinion. Best Superman movie will always be uh Superman one. Well, it's a tie between Superman one and two with Christopher Reeves. But yeah, man, like it's a decent movie. And I hope that everybody who's hated on it before even watching it actually gives it a chance. And I hope that anybody here who's watched it and didn't like it, go back and rewatch it, and hopefully you may have a change of mind. But even if not, it's your opinion. But that's all. Again, this is just where I'm coming from. Uh, Hopefully James Gunn does not let us down, and hopefully we get to see a whole bunch of characters that haven't had a chance to shine yet, like Martian Manhunter. I would love, love for Martian Manhunter to get in on some real action. I would love to see. Uh, I would love to see Flash done right. Flash hasn't been done right yet, movie wise. Flash hasn't been done right yet. Oh, I would love. I want to see how they're doing John Stewart as well. Also, I wonder who's who was I just talking to? Oh, I wonder who they're gonna get to be Batman if it's not gonna be Robert Pattinson. Because you need Batman in the Justice League. Other than that, yeah, that's just my personal opinion on the movie. I enjoyed it. I hope a lot of people did enjoy that movie, and I would love more to come. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah, have a blessed one. So take it easy.